Yeah, yeah. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let us go, my friend. When your baby leaves you all alone and nobody calls you on the phone, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am, honey. Come on and cry to me. When you're all alone in your lonely room, and there's nothing but the smell of her perfume. Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am, honey. Come on, cry to me. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Okay, we got. Yeah, I was watching. I was watching some action. Yeah, it was Chuck Norris. Yeah. Oh, I knew I was doing something wrong. Doesn't matter for a minute. Yeah, basically it was Chuck Norris, and it was a scene from that Bruce Lee movie when he was fighting in the Roman Colosseum. That's the scene that's in my mind. When it comes to Chuck Norris, I always see that, and to me, that's rubbish. It's garbage. So I saw a piece of footage, real footage of Chuck Norris fighting. It was very impressive. He was training on some bag, then he was fighting. It was very impressive. So basically, he's six times world champion. Yeah, he had 183. Well, he had more than 183. He had 183 wins, 10 losses, two draws. Yeah, very impressive record. But like I said, when he done that film, with Bruce Lee, that was made to make Bruce Lee look good, and the karate was very wooden, yeah, very stiff. But yeah, it was very good what I saw. Okay, we got Billy Joe Saunders talking about Tyson Fury, yeah. So he met him at the airport. He said, "Look at the size of him." He said he opened a can of drink. Tyson Fury opened a can of drink, yeah. Then a little glass thing. He had a little glass thing. I snatched it from him and I chucked it in the bin. Billy said, "What you doing? We're training here." Yeah. So they started training with him. He didn't want to train. First he started walking, then he started running, then he really started loving training, yeah? Uh Started training for a week, then he started talking about killing himself. So he said, "Don't do that, mate. What about your son? What about your kids?" Then he was okay and just cracked on. So yeah, so that's really sad, but it's good when you see the actual interview, because when you see Billy Joe Saunders talking, it is truth. Because sometimes you read a lot of information, and there's a video saying this stuff, but when you actually see Billy Joe Saunders saying it himself, it's real. Yeah, I don't know, man. What happens to people, man? He's the world champion, then all of a sudden he feels depressed and he wants to kill himself. I don't know what that's about. But luckily, Billy and the team, pulled him through and he's okay today. Okay. What else we got here? We got Andy Ruiz predicts Usyk versus Fury. Says Fury's reach will be too much for Usyk, but anything is possible in boxing, in heavyweight boxing. He says, I have a lot of respect for Fury. Derek Chisora has one man on his mind for his next fight. Asked who he wants to fight, Del Boy says the Chinese guy. Yeah, for some strange reason, he thinks he can beat Zhang. And Derek says, Chisora, man, dude is brave, man. Dude is brave. Yeah? I remember back in the day when he was going to fight um, David Hay. He said, yeah, I wish it was 15 rounds. He doesn't have the lungs. Yeah, he wanted to box David Hay. Who in their right mind would want to box David Hay for 15 rounds? I wish it was 15 rounds. He doesn't have the lungs. Well, I think it's on 15 rounds. So now he wants to fight Zhang. I think Del Boy's tactics is really to wear everyone down, which he done with Washington. And Washington's a good fighter, yeah? And he's a good fighter. So he just broke him down, wore him down, and won the fight. But can he do the same to Zhang? I mean, he'd be hitting Zhang, and Zhang can't even fucking feel it. Yeah? There's no way he's beating Zhang. But good luck to Del Boy with that one. Can KSI knock out Tommy Fury? Can KSI knock out Tommy Fury? Why not? Yeah? But one thing about KSI, he brings a good fight, man. He brings a good fight. It's entertaining. He really comes, No one can accuse him of Charlo. They said Charlo didn't come to fight Canelo. Or once he felt the power, his enthusiasm was gone. Yeah? One thing, KSI is going to give his best shot. Yeah? So no one can't take that away from him. So it's going to be a good fight, him and Tommy Fury. See, the person who doesn't seem to be committed is Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury said he wants to go into acting. So what does that mean? If you say you want to go into acting and you start getting hit in the face, you'll turn. You think my face will be mashed up and then I won't get any acting roles. So that's how that goes. Okay, what else we got here? We got Shakur Stevenson interview. Interview asked him about being a Puerto Rican fighter. Wow, that was crazy. I didn't know he was Puerto Rican. The dude's as American as the dream, Devin Haney, but he spoke to him like he's a foreigner. Then he compared him to other Puerto Rican boxers. He said, well, he doesn't want to say anything disrespectful about them. They're all good. I mean, does he sound Puerto Rican to you? He's as American as they can be. Somehow he's Puerto Rican. But then again, the interviewer never said it in a disrespectful way. It was maybe more like, we've had a lot of great Puerto Rican fighters. How do you rank with them? But anyway you turn it up, it doesn't make sense. If you go to his BoxRec said he's American. I think he even represented America, USA in the Olympics, yeah? So all of a sudden he's Puerto Rican. So anyway, Shakur Stevenson sitting down, he's doing his interview, trying to ask all the questions. Everyone's got the mic at his mouth. So he's just doing his best interview. Evander Holyfield predicts Tyson versus James Toney. I don't know where this story's come from, but basically, Holyfield's predicting Tyson Fury versus James Toney. Says Tyson would have killed him. I mean, James Toney came from middleweight, it's like kind of a fat dude. I believe he doesn't really train properly. Yeah. And then he ballooned up to heavyweight. Ballooned. Yeah. He ballooned up to heavyweight. But I'm sure James Toney beat Evander Holyfield. But I think Holyfield must have been injured. Okay, what else we got here? Andy Ruiz says Oli. Oh, he says he's the only person who's not afraid to fight Wilder. Yeah, he's the only. Why are they afraid to fight Wilder? Because he's dangerous, isn't it? That's why he's afraid to fight Wilder. Who in their right mind would want to fight Wilder? Even Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Wilder. I mean, Tyson Fury done everything he could to get out of the next two fights with Wilder, but he had to do it. Yeah, and even though he won, he'll never be the same again. Okay, what else we got here? Uh, we got Ryan Garcia versus Teofimo Lopez, February 24th. Says Bob Arum. What else we got here? We got Anthony Joshua versus Philip Agovich for vacant title possibility. Eddie Hearn says the best of AJ is yet to come. AJ wants to win the heavyweight title for the third time. Yeah, I mean, Eddie was saying he's been with AJ for 10 years. It's been a pleasure, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but he wants to win it for the third time. It would be really good if Anthony Joshua could win it for the third time, though. Yeah, and he can do it. But the story about this vacant title was a bit confusing because he seemed to say, like, well, Tyson Fury or Usyk won't want to fight for this belt, so it'd be vacated. Then AJ and Philip Ergovich can fight for this vacant title. But something was missing. It's like, well, how do you know they're not going to want to fight for it? Well, he's Eddie Hearn. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. Yeah? Well, it wasn't all clear. But apparently there's going to be some title. Then the winner of Fury and Usyk is not going to want to fight for. And then AJ and Philip can go for it. Okay, let me move on. Canelo was stopped by interviewer and and asked. Oscar De La Hoya says, you and Ryan Garcia." Canelo blinked hard and said, "You're joking." Then turned and walked off. Yeah, that's him. You and Ryan. Yeah? You and Ryan Garcia. He said, "You're joking." He said, "You're joking." Blinked hard and just walked off. Now Canelo don't have time, man. Everyone wants to fight Canelo. So, for his legacy, he only wants to fight the best people now. He's not going to waste his time fighting Ryan Garcia. No way. Yeah? Absolutely not. And also, he doesn't like to fight Mexican fighters. I mean, if he beats another Mexican fighter, he'd be classified as like a sellout and a traitor. Okay, let's move on. When your baby leaves you all alone and nobody calls you on the phone, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Where I am, honey, come on, cry to me. When you're all alone in your lonely room and there's nothing but the smell of her perfume, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Well, here I am, honey. Come on, cry to me. the late great Solomon Burke, who died in the airport at Amsterdam.